Unity of Houston is an inclusive church where we seek to understand and live the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. At Unity, we welcome all people from all spiritual paths and every walk of life. We celebrate the diversity of our city and of our world, and we teach love, tolerance, and oneness, seeking to live in harmony with open minds and open hearts.
Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome at Unity. Join us and discover that the life of your dreams is already within you.
Thank you, music team. What a great job. I love that song. We're still standing, aren't we? Regardless of all the trials and tribulations that we go through, we're still standing. We'll continue to stand as well. So this evening, I'm so happy to see you. It's great to be here with you this evening and to see your beautiful and handsome faces. And to those of you online, welcome. We're so glad that you're with us as well. So tonight, we are studying from Panache Desai's book, You Are Enough. How many of you are familiar with that book? Raise your hand if you are. Very good. How many of you are familiar with any of Panache Desai's work? Right. He was here how many years ago, Shirley? Do you remember? A number of years ago. And what an incredible, sweet, kind, loving, spiritual soul he is. Judy, did you see him too when he was here? You did. What an amazing soul he is. And his book, You Are Enough, I absolutely love it. And so I have a special favor to ask of you tonight. I'm going to ask you to get up and go tell somebody else, you are enough. Yep, let's do it. Let's do it. Go tell somebody else, you are enough. Look at them in their eyes and say, you are enough. How did that feel? How did it feel? You're enough. Oh, I love it. I love it, Bruce. You're enough. You're enough. You're enough. You're enough. Doesn't it feel good to hear that you're enough? Doesn't that feel good? Now I want you to look at me and say, I am enough. I am enough. Let's say it again. I am enough. Do you ever have times in your life where you might feel like you're not enough? Does that ever happen to anybody other than me? There are times when we do feel that way. Don't we have those times and those moments? And so tonight we're going to talk about how to navigate those and what we do when those spring up and come forward. So Panache's book, he's talking about vibration, how to raise your vibration. And I may have to take this completely off. Y'all don't mind, do you? I won't take off my dress, I promise. Hold on. I'm having a heat wave all of a sudden. Hang with me. I'm still standing, though. Okay, so he's talking to us about vibrational energy. We are here. We're spiritual beings on this earth plane, and we are having a human experience. And we're vibration, we're energy, right? That's what we are. We're energy, and we're vibrating at certain levels. And when we have things that come into our life that are perceived as negative, our vibrations can go down, our vibrational level. And so he's talking about how to raise that vibration. Our energy can become dense, and the outpicturing, our life is outpictured by the frequency of our vibrational energy. So we want to bring that vibrational energy up, right? For sure, we do. The late Wayne Dyer said, every time you squeeze an orange, you get orange juice, because what is inside comes out. I love that. I was going to bring an orange tonight, but I didn't have time to stop and get one. But you can see that every time you squeeze an orange, you get orange juice, because what is inside is coming out. And the same is true in our lives. What is inside of us vibrationally will come out and manifest itself in the outer. And Panache gives us an example of prosperity. In his chapter 6, he talks about, we can have our vision boards, and we can have on the vision boards the house we want, the car we want, the material things we want. We can have pictures of stacks and stacks of money, and we can do affirmations every day, 2 and 3, maybe 4 times a day. And it may not be working. Why? Why would that not work? Now, I facilitate Napoleon Hill's work, Think and Grow Rich. Judy has been in the class many times. And the thing we do when we start the class is we really go within to look at what is hiding deep inside of us, what belief systems might be there that are not on the surface yet, that may be vibrating within us. Because Panache is right, you can do all those things. And if you have a belief system that's hidden within you that you may not be aware of, it needs to come to the surface to be healed. Not all of us grew up with perhaps great role models with money, where money's concerned. Parents may have, and grandparents may have grown up in the Depression, and they may have certain feelings and thoughts about money that may have been embedded in you. And I'm wondering if some of you can help me with this. Many of us were taught some negative things about money, and maybe you can help me finish these sentences. You have to work what for your money? Hard. You have to work hard for your money. Was it Donna Summers was that her song, You Work Hard for Your Money? I won't sing it. I don't want you to run out. You have to work hard for your money. Save it for a rainy day. I see I'm not the only one who got those kind of messages. Let me see, where's our next one? Money doesn't grow on trees. So all those are messages that would indicate to us lack and limitation. And so we do time in Think and Grow Rich with really examining our belief system. And we may forget that was there. We may say, yeah, I remember that now. I remember that's how Mom and Dad felt about money, that we were always barely getting by or having to skimp and save. So these beliefs can get stuck in our energy vibration, and we examine those beliefs and we bring them to the forefront. And like the little black box on the airplane that records everything the pilots are saying in flight, every experience that you have in your life is being vibrationally recorded. Some experiences are good. Some experiences are bad. Some experiences are horrible. Those unresolved experiences can be stuffed down within our beingness, and we have to bring it to the forefront to heal it, because that energy becomes dense, and then we're vibrating at a less rate than we want to be vibrating at. I want to share with you a story that I had experienced in my own lifetime that got stuck within my beingness, so that I can help demonstrate to you. As a child, every time I got sick, I thought I was dying. Every time in my childhood. And I was very dramatic about it. It wasn't, I'm going to die. It was very dramatic. I'm dying. And as I grew up, I still had that. Into my early 20s, I still had that. Every time I got sick, I thought I was dying. And so one day in my 20s, I was crying and asking my mom, I said, why, Mom? Why do I act like this? I don't understand. Why do I act this way? I'm rational in other areas of my life. Why am I acting this way? And Mom decides to tell me, well, Cindy, when you were 5, she said, this might have a bearing on it. She said, when you were 5, my dad died when I was 5. And I became very ill at that time. And she took me to the doctor, and she said, the doctor said, your little girl's going to be okay. And my mother said, yes, well, that's what they said about her father 2 weeks ago, too, and he is dead. And so I had no remembrance of that. But the minute she spoke those words to me, well, first of all, I was thinking, gee, Mom, you might have wanted to share that with me some, 15 years ago. I think she was probably afraid to share it with me. But once I knew that, once it came to the surface, I was able to navigate every time I got sick. I was able to navigate and understand I'm not dying. And that ended it. That ended it from that point on. So that's why we want to bring these emotions and feelings up to the surface so that we can heal them. One way to shift our energy is when we have a trigger. Do any of you have triggers? Triggers, anybody? Yes. So when you have a trigger, you want to look within and ask why. Why is this trigger happening for me? What is this bringing up for me? Life will bring you those triggers over and over and over again until we learn to identify them and release them. So you want to embrace your triggers. Is that right? Do we really want to embrace our triggers? One of my triggers is driving in the Houston traffic, and I am really bad about people are cutting me off, or they're not letting me in, and I'm trying to get in, and I get really upset, and sometimes I yell and be mad. I know it's hard to believe. I get upset, and I'm always, I know you saw me. I know you saw me trying to get in, and you're just purposely not letting me in. But what I've come to realize, bringing that up to the surface and leaning into those triggers as Panache is asking us to do, to change that vibrational energy, what I've learned is growing up, my stepfather was an alcoholic, and our home was very, very chaotic. It was difficult. And when I would speak about it as a child, I was shut down. I mean, immediately. It always made things worse, and I learned you just need to close your mouth and not say anything. And so I felt very unseen. And so once I was able to identify that, because my whole rage on the road is, you see me, and you're not helping me. So again, those triggers come up for us, to look at those and heal those so that our vibration can be, we want to heal it, feel it, and let it go. And that is what helps to raise our vibration. Because what happens if we don't? We'll continue to repeat the same thing over and over and over again. It's like when a person marries 3 or 4 times and they're marrying what seems to be the same man over and over again, or the same woman over and over again. These things are actually coming up for us. They're a gift for us, and that's why we want to lean into those triggers so that we can identify them and say, We want to identify them, and Panache says, look at them without judgment and look at them unconditionally. Look at them with an unconditional sense of, why is this happening, and what can I do to feel it, heal it, and release it? Well, another example is, how many times do we leave a job and, these people here are terrible. And they might be horrible, I don't know. And then we go and get another job, and lo and behold, these people here are terrible too. Well, must be. You quit that job and you go get another job. And you realize, well, gosh, every job I get, the people are terrible. So once again, it's for us to look at, where is it that our woundedness is in the situation? And what do we need to do to shift and change it? So we need to look at, once it comes up for healing, we need to look at how we're going to move about when that vibration starts to change. Panache says, once you change that vibration, you don't ever have to go chasing after anything. It will come to you. the home that you want, and the car that you want, and the person that you want, and the job that you want. It will all come to you because you're going to be vibrating at such a level that it's going to be attracted to you. So we don't have to go out searching for it. It's going to come to us. So that's really an interesting take, I think, on instead of trying to avoid those triggers, is leaning into them and learning from them. What are they trying to teach me? What are they trying to show me? And what do I need to do to heal what is going on in my life and approach this in a different way? He says it is so paramount that we make it paramount to connect with the divine every day. Every day. When you get up in the morning, if you have to set the alarm clock a little earlier to get up, he talks about waking up and making it the most important thing you do in your life is to get quiet and to connect with the divine, be it through meditation, be it through affirmative prayer, be it through quiet time. And even if it's for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, the way that you start your day and you align yourself with remembering who you really are. Because we're not all these external stresses that come to us, because they're out there. Those stresses are not going to go away. Houston traffic is not going to go away. But how I approach it and deal with it is what will shift and change, which will change the energy in which we're living from. So connecting with that divine, getting quiet every morning and connecting with that divine. And yes, thoughts may come in, but let them float on by. Let them float on by. And just continue to be in the stillness and the connection of who and what you are. You're so much greater. We're so much greater than this flesh and blood. We're spiritual beings here. And it is our birthright to live the life that we want to live, that we've come here to live. He talks about how do we respond to that energy? How do we normally respond to that energy when it happens, those triggers when it happens? I mean, give that a little bit of thought. For me in traffic, I usually I'm yelling, "You saw me, I know you did. You just didn't let me in." So he says, become aware. Become aware of what your response is, that awareness to how it is that you're responding to these stresses and these triggers. He said sometimes we have a refusal to feel it. Is that true? We don't always want to feel those triggers, do we? You know, I don't want to feel bad. But when we bring things, I didn't want to feel like I was dying either, right? When we bring these things to the surface, we have to feel it. I had to feel like, well, something's wrong here. And then when I had the awareness of what it was, I could let it go and heal it. You have to feel it to heal it. And then he says that's how we live with our authentic self of who we really are, who we really have come here to be, what it is we're here. We should be living the life we truly want to live, that we deserve to live, that brings us joy, that brings us happiness, that brings us harmony in our lives and our relationships, and brings us the prosperity we want. And we can do that. We can absolutely do that. When we push our feelings down and we don't acknowledge it, we just keep creating, as I said earlier, that same situation over and over and over again. And that's not what we want to do. We want to bring it up and heal it. And I see the young people here in the audience. I think it's so wonderful that you're here. And it'll be so beneficial for you as you're navigating your school life. And being able to identify those thoughts. I know I'm embarrassing you. I'm sorry. To be able to identify those things that happen, and when we cannot lay blame on other people, when we cannot lay blame on the situations, and really look at why am I feeling this way, and heal those and let those go. That's what we want to do. So the tools, he's given us tools to do that. to acknowledge it, to feel it, to let it go, to release it, so that we can be freed up, to have that vibration lifted in us. You agree? Yeah. Yeah, we have to feel it. We have to feel it. I've had a lot of grief in my life. I've lost 5 family members to suicide. And I'm going to tell you right now, that talk about dense energy. That energy and that vibration can be very overwhelming. But again, with grief, you feel it. You have to bring it up. And sometimes it flows over you like an ocean wave. But you feel it. That's the only way to heal these things, is to feel them and let them flow on through you. Let them flow on through you, right? So Panache, what a great man. What a wonderful man. I love this book, That We Are Enough, because the truth is we are enough. Exactly the way we are enough. And when we get those triggers and we lean into them, we acknowledge them, we recognize them, we feel them, we lean into them, and then we let them go, then we're not going to keep recreating it. I'm not going to be yelling at the people on the freeway anymore. I've decided to start saying, bless you. Bless you. Maybe you didn't see me trying to get in and you didn't see that blinker on. So we release this pent-up energy and our vibration will come and flow. And then we are freed up to be the person that we came here to be on this planet, to live the life that we came here to live. So I want to tell you that you are deeply loved and you are enough just as you are. Thank you so much. God bless you.
For watching this message today. I'd like to invite you to join us in person here on campus at Unity of Houston for Sunday morning or Wednesday evening services. If you can't be with us here on our campus, you can still join us live on Facebook or on our website, unityhouston.org, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Central.